Hello, and welcome to the 505 tutorial for configuring Woodward digital links. In this tutorial, we will review the configuration of Woodward digital links. Other Woodward devices can be integrated easily with the 505. By understanding the functionality of a peripheral device, you will have a better understanding of the overall control configuration. Peripheral devices can be connected by digital communication link, either CAN or Ethernet, depending on the product, which allows users to monitor their signals on the 505. This ability eliminates the need to wire these signals to typical input-output channels and provides additional information on the 505 screens. These tables provide a summary of what ports should be used with each type of device. To configure Woodward digital links, you must be logged in to the Configure User Level and Configuration Mode. Refer to the Changing User Levels and Changing Modes and Languages tutorials to learn how to do this. From the home screen, press the black function key below Configuration to open the configuration menu. Now, use the navigation cross keys to highlight Woodward links and press Enter. The first Woodward device that can be connected is the D-Slick 2. When connected to the 505 controller, it can be used with generators to accurately sense three-phase RMS generator output power and perform generator breaker synchronization. Other configurable D-Slick 2 functions include generator load sharing, VAR or power factor control, process control, and base load control. To enable the Woodward link feature, use the navigation cross keys to highlight the checkbox, then press Enter. The D-Slick 2 options will now be available. Set the slave address and the device's IP address at the bottom of the screen. The 505 Ethernet 3 IP address automatically displays the value programmed into the 505. These settings allow the two devices to communicate automatically as soon as an RJ45 Ethernet cable is connected between Ethernet port 3 of the 505 and network B port on the D-Slick 2. The D-Slick 2 can provide the synchronization speed bias signal, the sync load sharing bias signal, and the kilowatt output of the generator. These radio buttons allow the user to select the functions desired. To select a radio button, use the navigation cross keys to highlight the desired radio button. Then press Enter. Now that the D-Slick 2 is enabled, its button on the service menu becomes active. Press Home twice to return to the main screen. Press the black function key below Service to open the service menu. The D-Slick 2 page is located on the second service menu screen. Press the function key below the right arrow button. Now use the navigation cross keys to highlight D-Slick 2 and press Enter. The power parameters from D-Slick 2 screen that opens displays the available service screens that allow you to monitor the D-Slick 2. Back on the Link to D-Slick 2 TCP Modbus Ethernet Port 3 screen, press the function key below the right arrow button to access the next available Woodward Links device. This opens the link to the Veristroke 2 CAN Port 1 screen. The Veristroke 2 is a linear electrohydraulic actuator that is designed to provide the linear actuation force to operate steam turbine control valves or valve racks. To connect the actuator to the 505, wire it to CAN Port 1 from terminal block TB6A on the Veristroke 2. To enable the CAN 1 interface link, use the navigation cross keys to select the checkbox on the screen, and then press Enter to add a checkmark to the box. Use these same tools on the front panel of the 505 to add a checkmark to the Using a Veristroke 2 actuator checkbox. To enter the desired value in the DVP1 device ID box, use the navigation cross keys and the adjust keys. This value must be between 1 and 31. DVP is short for Digital Valve Positioner. If you are going to connect an analog demand signal as well as the CAN link to the Veristroke 2, use the navigation cross keys to select the Enable DVP1 AI Backup box. Then press Enter to add a checkmark to the box. Woodward recommends using an AI backup. Finally, use the navigation cross keys to select the DVP1 function box. Press Enter and use the adjust keys to select the desired option from the drop-down list that opens. For most cases, this will be HP demand. Then press Enter to select the highlighted option. If you are using two Varistroke 2 actuators, add a check mark to the Using two Varistroke 2 actuators box. This will allow you to select the DVP2 function for the second valve. Additionally, you can now press the black function key below Set DVP2 to open the window necessary for configuring the second DVP. As with the DSlick 2, now that you have enabled the Varistroke 2 interface link, its button on the service menu becomes active. You can now monitor the Varistroke 2 from the Values from Varistroke 2 screens. Back on the Link to Varistroke 2 CAMport 1 screen, press the function key below the right arrow button to access the next available Woodward Links device. This opens the High Protect screen. The High Protect is a power protection relay device with dual-core processors. It is designed for complete protection of power generating and distribution systems. To enable this Woodward Link feature, use the navigation cross keys to select the checkbox on the screen, and then press Enter to add a checkmark to the box. As you can see, this opens connection options for the High Protect. In the Device Slave Address box, use the numeric keypad to enter the device slave address, which must be between 1 and 255. Then, use the numeric keypad to set the device IP address. To connect the High Protect, use an RJ45 Ethernet cable connected to Ethernet port 3 on the 505. To access the next available Woodward Links device, press the function key below the right arrow button. This opens the link to MFR300 CAMport 3 screen. The MFR300 is a multifunction generator protection relay used to sense and protect small generators. This multifunction protection relay integrates all generator protection functions into one common device, thereby reducing overall system installation complexity and cost. The MFR300 needs to be wired to CAN port 3. To enable this Woodward Link feature, use the navigation cross keys to select the checkbox on the screen, and then press Enter to add a checkmark to the box. As you can see, this opens connection options for the MFR300. To enter the desired value in the Device ID box, use the navigation cross keys and the Adjust keys. This value must be between 1 and 127. Next, use the navigation cross keys to select the baud rate box. The value you select here, using the Adjust keys, must be between 0 and 3. The numbers correspond to different baud or communication rates, which are provided below the baud rate box. Finally, select whether the system configuration is for a Delta or Y setup by selecting the applicable radio button. As with most of the other Woodward Links, now that you have enabled the MFR300, its button on the service menu becomes active. You can now monitor the MFR300 from the Power Parameters from MFR300 screens. Back on the Link to MFR300 CAMport 3 screen, press the function key below the right arrow button to access the next available Woodward Links device. This opens the link to the LS5 CAMport 3 screen. The LS5 series protection relays integrate generator breaker synchronization, power sense, and protection functions all in one package. The LS5 needs to be wired to CAMport 3. To enable this Woodward Link feature, use the navigation cross keys to select the checkbox on the screen, and then press Enter to add a checkmark to the box. As you can see, this opens connection options for the LS5. To enter the desired value in the Device ID box, use the navigation cross keys and the Adjust keys. This value must be between 1 and 127. Next, use the navigation cross keys to select the baud rate box. The value you select here, using the Adjust keys, must be between 0 and 3. The numbers correspond to different baud or communication rates, which are provided below the baud rate box. For generator breaker synchronization, the LS5 needs the configuration of both sides of the breaker. The options for System A and B refer to either side of the breaker. Select whether each system configuration is for a Delta or Y setup by selecting one of the radio buttons. Additionally, you can use Enter and the numeric keypad to replace the existing descriptions in the corresponding System A and System B description boxes. As with most of the other Woodward links, now that you have enabled the LS5, its button on the service menu becomes active. You can now monitor the LS5 from the Power Parameters from LS5 screens. You now know the basics of the configuration of Woodward digital links. Please be sure to view the other tutorials for more information.